Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, ladies. My name is Halima. I am the owner of Modesty Corner. It is a blog for striving Muslimas and women in general. You know, any woman is welcome to come on my blog. I'm also the owner and operator of A Source of Goodness, which is a blended tea line. I make herbal teas, aromatic teas, fruity teas, all kinds of tea. Any kind of tea you need, I got it. I am definitely all about the tea. Definitely the queen of the loose leaf. So today I wanted to make a video regarding feminine hygiene and care. I feel a lot of times people assume because you have a vagina that you know how to take care of it, and that is not the case. I know women, young and old, I have encountered them, I've met with them, I've sat with them, I've spoken to them, that don't know how to care for themselves and their lady parts properly. So I just wanted to create a video because I feel like it's a topic that is often neglected in a lot of communities. So let me just first start off by emphasizing, in terms of talking about feminine care, it's not necessary for you to spend a ton of money on feminine care products, especially ones that can be harsh or have harsh ingredients. And that doesn't just mean non-natural products. There are natural products that can be just as harsh as natural products. People have this assumption that using herbs and spices and trees and barks is always good for you. And that's not true, because if these things are not used properly, they can be very dangerous and very poisonous to your system and cause much more harm than good. So I always recommend that when you buy your natural products, you're buying them from a reputable source, someone that knows what they're doing, not someone that's just putting a whole bunch of herbs and things into a concoction and giving it to you because they saw something on YouTube or they saw something on some website somewhere. They just Googled it and voila, they became an expert. It does not work like that. It is important to know dosages. It is important to know what people's allergies are. It is super duper important to know the capabilities and the interactions of these different natural substances that you're using, especially if a person is taking medication. A lot of herbs are blood thinners. Like, there's so many different things that you have to be aware of. So I caution you and anyone else to make sure that when you are going to someone, that they know what they're doing. And one thing about herbs, it's not a one size fits all. There are some general products that you can just generally use, just like you would generally use aspirin for headaches and different sort of aches. But for serious ailments, I highly recommend seeking out a wellness specialist, whether it's your doctor, a physician, or whether it's, if you're into more of a holistic approach, a health and wellness coach that is knowledgeable about the products that they're making and knowledgeable about drug interactions and herbal interactions. It's super duper important. So let's just get into this. Before we talk about how to care and clean the vagina, and more so I'm going to go over the system that I use, not what everyone else should use. Everyone has their own little system. Not everything that works for me is not going to work for you, and everything that works for you is not going to work for me. So I'm going to give you a little bit of what I do, and if you want to know more, feel free to contact me and ask me questions. All of that. I'm going to put all my contact information in the description. But first things first. Before we can talk about how to care for the female genitalia, we first have to be able to identify what it is that we're cleaning. You can't clean something if you don't know what it is. And I have this nice little diagram. So this entire area is the vulva. People think that all of this is the vagina. It's incorrect. This little opening is your vagina. That's it. This little canal. That's it. The rest of this is considered your vulva. Your vulva is made up of a couple of things. It's made up of the pubis. I always say that wrong. Don't laugh at me. Don't judge me. It's the mound of skin that's on top of your pubic bone that usually has pubic hair. Then there is your clitoris. We all know what that does. And if you don't, I'm not going to be the one to tell you. The clitoris hood. And then there is the urethra opening, which is your urinary canal. And then you have two different sets of labias. The outer labia, which is the labia majora, which protects the vagina. And then you have a thinner labia called the labia minora, which is also referred to as the lips. And you have the anus, and of course there is the vagina. So now that we know the different parts of the vulva, because that is the area that you will be cleaning, and I want to stress this to you: do not put soaps, detergents, fragrances in your vagina. They can be very harmful. Your vagina is a self-cleansing organ, and if it has an odor, there's a reason for the odor. And a lot of times, if it's not an STD, if it's not sperm throwing off your pH, if it's not a yeast infection or any kind of infection, it might be because of what you are putting in your vagina. Detergents in your vagina are a no-no. That includes soaps. That includes Summer's Eve. You shouldn't put those things in your vagina, period. Anybody that's telling you to put something and keep it in your vagina, like yoni pearls, terrible idea. I don't know who thought of yoni pearls, but and I know that people swear by them. I know that there are people who are probably gonna stop watching this video right at this point, but yoni pearls can be so incredibly dangerous. You do not know how these herbs are being grown. You do not know what chemicals are being used to grow them. You don't know if they're wild crafted or anything like that. You don't know what kind of sanitation measures this person is using to package these herbs into whatever it is that they do with them. You don't know the process. You don't know the source. And it can be extremely dangerous, because chances are when people have these herbs, they're not purifying them and then packaging them to put into your vagina. And even if they were, your vagina and your body may reject it, and it may cause all kinds of infections and things that you can't fix, or that are harder to fix than what the original issue is that you're trying to relieve. So please, ladies, please refrain from putting certain things in your vagina. It's not safe. It's just not safe. So anyway, I want to get into what my system is, and I'm going to start with the system that I use, my everyday cleansing routine. A companion of mine, she makes a vaginal cleansing foam soap. I swear by this soap. I think everybody that owns a vagina should own a bottle of this soap. I buy it all the time. I love it. I use it every day. I have a bottle that I keep in my gym bag. I have a bottle that I keep at my desk at work, and I have a bottle that I keep in my bathroom. It's by a company called Fitrah, all natural products. In this, it's rose water, aloe, apple cider vinegar, hydrogen peroxide, witch hazel, and lavender. And I'll just show you so that you can see. It's just a foam. It's just a foam, and you only need like 1 or 2 pumps of the foam. So what I do is I will put 1 or 2 pumps in my hand, and then I will put it all over my vulva, everything, all this. Sometimes, it's good. You can, not too much, but, you can get in between the layers of the vulva or the skin in between them. Of course, if you're defecating, you want to get your anus and all of those things like that. Guys, don't laugh because it's serious stuff here. But I put it everywhere outside of the vagina and the urethra opening because I don't want to get a UTI. But that's what I do. And so after that, of course, most women, Muslim women, are very familiar with this peri bottle. We use it, or we call it an Istinja bottle, and that's what I do. I'll fill it up with warm water, not hot water and not cold water. You don't want it to be hot. You do not want to burn your vagina. Believe me, it does not feel good to do that. And then I'll just, there's actually water in here. Good thing there's plastic over this, but I'll just, y'all know how to make a Istinja. I just spray it all over there, make sure all the soap is off, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So that is my everyday, after I use the bathroom, after I defecate routine. I use the soap each time. Maybe that's excessive. I don't know, but it works. And even when I go to the gym, I can use this right before the gym. I'll do my workout and I still feel fresh and clean. There is no odor there. I don't have like a funky odor. You ever go to a public restroom and somebody uses the bathroom and they walk out and they just have this like it's just nasty? I don't have those problems. One, because I drink water. That's another thing, ladies. It's not just about what you put around your vulva, but what you put in your body directly affects the smell and the taste of your vagina. If you do not drink water, you are going to smell bad. I don't care what nobody says. If you are not a water drinker, if you do not incorporate water into your diet, your vagina is not going to smell good. Eating different meats, eating things like garlic and pepper, not garlic, but garlics, peppers, the same things that make your breath smell are going to make your vagina smell and taste tart as well. That's why a lot of people I know use pineapple juice and cranberry juice. I used to have a friend in cosmetology school. She used to call it pineapple when she would drink pineapple juice all day just so she could make sure. We're not going to get into why she did it. Y'all know. Y'all can use your imaginations. That's why she did it, to make sure that she was nice smelling and tasting down there. So that is that. I also use this foam soap after my menses. I actually have a system that I use after my menses, so let's get into that system. So we did the everyday system, let's get into the menses system. I actually have an herbal tea that I make when I use my menses. This is my little jar of herbs. You probably can't see what's in here, but I'm just going to tell you what herbs specifically that I use. And again, the herbs that I use for myself are specifically for me. And I make herbs for other people, but I tailor them specifically for them because what I'm using it for may not be the same thing that you want to use it for. This particular set of herbs I use because after my period, I just want to basically refresh and restore the fauna and the flora of my vagina and the pH balance. The flora is the bacteria in your vagina that helps to produce healthy bacteria in the vagina. It helps produce lactic acid, it helps to produce hydrogen peroxide, and different other substances that will inhibit the growth of yeast and other organisms that can be harmful to your body. This is why I use this, and I'm not excessive. And I don't Ronnie Pearl this. I don't put the herbs in my vagina. What I do is I take literally a teaspoon I use this same little tea infuser kettle. I put my herbs in there, boil some water, fill this thing all the way up, and I let it sit and cool. Please, 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 let it cool. It's gonna take a little while. It might take an hour or two sometimes, for me anyway, for it to cool down after you're using boiling water. And then I will use a douche, just a regular summer's eve douche. And the 8 ounces, the little mini kettle here, will fill up just about the same size as this. It's a small little kettle. I don't know what is in here. I'm assuming it's just water and vinegar, but I don't know, so I don't use it. I just dump this out. I just like the bottle. If I could just find the bottle by itself, I wouldn't even pay the $3. I mean, it's only $3 at Target, so it's not a big deal. But I don't use the actual product that is inside of the douche. I make my own little tea concoction. So I use that after my period has ended. And then twice a month, sometimes 3 times a month, I'll do a V-steam. And I know V-steams have been kind of like the popular thing. And here is my V-steam. This is my personal V-steam that I use, that I blended for myself. I do make V-steams for other people. This particular blend of V-steam I made because I am a person that suffers from severe cramps. The first day of my menses is like torture to me. I'm completely immobilized, or I have been in the past completely immobilized by the cramps that I get. I can't eat. I can't do anything. It's terrible. It is the most terrible thing. But since I started doing the V-steams, it has reduced significantly. They haven't went away completely, but it is much, much, much more bearable, functional. It's more of a annoyance than it is a high intense pain. In my V-steam, I'll give you guys the ingredients, even though I don't like to tell my little secrets, but who are you guys gonna tell, right? I use mugwort, I use chasteberries, I use raspberry leaves, I use rose petals, I use rosemary, and I use something real special. And most people don't know what this does, and I'm probably not gonna tell y'all what it does, but it's called oat galls, or majukani. You can Google it. I'll put the name. I'll put the name in the description, and you guys can find out what it does for yourself. And in my VT, I use red clover, hops, arnica, sage, and slippery elm. Slippery elm does exactly what it sounds like it does, and it works. That's all I'm saying. If you have moisture problems during intercourse, get you some slippery elm, drink it as a tea, put it in your VT that you douche with on a regular basis. Get some slippery elm capsule, and I tell you, you won't have any of those problems. I don't have those problems, but I just like to put it in there anyway because I know what it does. And the last part of my V-Care system is my V oil, which, you know, I make this myself, and I use this for a number of reasons. I use it for moisture. I use it to shave because, you know, we have to keep with the Fitrah of shaving our pubic hairs, and I am not a wax person because I have a low threshold for pain. So I do use this when it's time to shave, and I use it for moisture, and I use it right before I go to the gym to work out because it keeps me smelling good. Again, this is not something that I put in my vagina, and usually when I do this oil, I just put it on the outer labia and the mons pubis, that skin right above your pubic bone. I just put it right there, and I'm fresh for my entire workout. There is no odor. I actually smell great down there when I'm working out. So, and it's not a lot of harsh ingredients. Most of it is just oils. I use argan oil, jojoba oil, moringa, lavender and rosemary for that. Excellent, 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 excellent smell. I love rosemary and lavender together. I love rosemary and lavender separate. I put lavender in almost everything. I'm surprised I don't have it in my I do actually have it in my V-steam, but I don't have it in my VT. So just to give you guys just I guess vaginal and vulva tips, you should wear underwear with a cotton crotch. Sometimes these underwears that people use cause yeast infections. There's so many different dyes and chemicals in underwears. I use panty liners. I use one brand of panty liner. This is the brand that I use. It's called Honey Pot. These panty liners are infused with essential oils. These panty liners are not for everyone. If you have a sensitive vagina, it is not for you. They are not for you. They are not for you. They are not for you because there is a tingling sensation and it might burn you. There are some people that are more sensitive than others. To me, it's just a refreshing feeling. And again, it's not something that goes in your vagina, but it goes around. It goes on your vulva, and it helps. Like, I know a lot of people that use them. I actually was referred to them by a sister who uses them because she used to get BV really, 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 really bad. And she started using them, and she said it cleared up. She said she didn't do anything else. She didn't change any part of her routine other than adding these panty liners. I haven't had BV, but I just love them. Like, I love how they make me feel. They're natural, and I love the company. I love the company that makes them. So that's one thing that can cause odors. And again, using soaps and detergents, those are things that can cause odors because your body will reject them. Sperm. Ladies, if you are married and you're having sex and you know your husband's semen is like an odorizer for your vagina, it throws off your pH balance. The VT is something that works exceptionally well for that. It helps eliminate the odor right away. The odor itself will go away eventually, but I don't like to wait. I just want one and done it, okay? But I also want to emphasize that water is sufficient. You know, water is a cleanser. So I don't want to deter people from using water. You need to drink water, drink water, drink water, drink water, drink water, and you can also use it, and you should be using it to clean yourself. Water is sufficient with nothing else. It is a cleanser. It's better. And, you know, obviously wiping is permissible, but it is better than wiping because you're making sure that you get all of the urine and the defecation off of your vulva area. It's just an all-around better solution if you're able to do it. And if you're not, alhamdulillah, that's fine. Tissue works just as effective for the most part. And I also want to just touch base and let sisters know that just because your vagina has an odor doesn't mean that you have something. If it has a bad odor, if it's like a really nasty stink odor, something is wrong. That's a red flag. Whatever it is, whether it's an STD, a yeast infection, any kind of other infection, those are red flags. But your vagina is gonna have an odor. It's not gonna smell like peaches and roses. And if it does smell like peaches and roses, it's because you put something up there that makes it smell like peaches and roses, and guaranteed in a couple of days or in a couple of weeks it's gonna stink because you shouldn't have put that up there anyway. It's not supposed to smell like that. It's gonna have an odor. It's not a strong odor. It's just a subtle odor. The consistency of your vaginal excretion is going to change. It's gonna change. The color, the consistency during different times in your cycle, your monthly cycle, it changes. If it's ever a greenish, yellowish looking color, or it's just an odd looking color, you need to consult someone. You need to consult your doctor or your wellness specialist, whoever it is that you go to, your OBGYN, whoever it is that you go to figure out what the problem is. But don't be alarmed by, vaginal secretion. Did I say decretion before? Sorry. Listen, I'm tired. It's a little late. But anyway, I think that pretty much sums it up. I know this isn't the best video, and I don't have any editing software, so y'all just gonna have to take it how you take it. But I think that that's it. I think that we've kind of went over everything. I am a wealth of knowledge, and I have a lot of really good companions that are also wealths of knowledge that I bounce different ideas and questions off of. So if you ever have any questions, or you ever just need a sounding board, or you ever or you want to know a little bit more about my products or the products that I use for cleansing and care, feel free to hit me up. My contact information on my website and my Instagram pages and my Facebook pages will all be in the description. Alright, ladies, assalamu alaikum. May Allah preserve all of us and keep us firm upon this religion. Ameen.